Hi everyone, it's the Photo Techie here. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I am comparing the extremerate Rise4 Remap kit with the DualSense Edge controller. So yes, Edge is definitely a better controller. It has a lot more features. We have the function buttons that do a lot in conjunction with the D-pad and the face buttons, different profiles. We have the integration of the controller with the software. On PlayStation 5, a lot of options there. And the biggest thing is the ability to change the thumbstick modules. Of course, not to forget, we have different types of back buttons. We have the half dome, which are actually quite amazing, and the lever style ones. So when it comes to it, it's, trigger stops as well. But I use L1, R1 for aiming and shooting anyway, so they don't really matter that much to me because I don't find these to be very nice anyway. But yeah, in terms of the whole package, the controller Edge is definitely, I think it's the best PS5 controller, to be honest. But what I want to talk about is usability and the, your competitiveness, what you are like when you're using extremerate or this is, can you just use the extremerate and still be as competitive? So that's what I want to talk about, because this is a very premium product. It's £210, which is a lot of money if you think about it. I know it's a bit of an investment, but it's a lot. So quickly, just talking about the comfort on the Edge, very, very comfortable controller. But one thing I did notice was the Edge is very, if you see these corners, very rounded here compared to the normal DualSense controller, which actually have an edge, a sharp edge. So the Edge is missing the edge, but I really like this on the normal DualSense controller, and I have to say, when I got this, I did feel this straight away. I was like, oh, what am I missing? Because my fingers sort of like, they slip around here at the corners, but we do have this grippy material inside. So this is normal plastic, but then this is a very grippy material. So kind of give you that grip that you need with your fingers when you're gripping the controller. Very good feel once you get used to it. It's very nice. One really good thing about the Edge whilst gaming, I did find it's my fingertip that lands on these half dome buttons. So my middle finger sort of is the tip that lands here. So when I in Call of Duty, if you want to get to a certain spot, sometimes you have to do like a time jump. I find that I'm very, very accurate using the back buttons on the Edge. I never ever find myself pressing the jump on the face. So that's a very, very good thing. Also, when I watch my clips, some of the clips, I think I'm much quicker crouching and getting back up. On the Edge, it's like when I press the back button, so the brain sort of tells me that I've pressed it. Sometimes, even on the Elite and on the extremerate as well, is because I'm using a different part. You're using like inside of the fingers. You think you've pressed the button, but you haven't pressed it hard enough, or it hasn't actuated. That never happens on the Edge. So if you think about the two-button design, in my experience, this is like the best, because it's not about the accidental actuations, it's about not having that actuation as well. You're thinking that you've pressed it, but you didn't press it hard enough. So that's a thing as well. It's not just that you don't have any accidental actuations, all the meaningful actuations are all timed perfectly on the Edge, and I really, really enjoyed that part of this controller. I think that is by far the biggest thing. Getting used to it was so good. Now I do miss, because I do like to have weapon swap at the back as well, but you only have two buttons here, so I rather keep jump and crouch, because I do use them a lot. I do use jumping and shooting or drop shot, crouching. But sometimes if I'm using the bolt action, I would shoot and crouch and up, and so I do use that. So for that, Edge is very, very good, but very, very expensive at the same time. So yeah, grip wise, a little bit different, little bit slimmer grips. So the normal DualSense, they're definitely chunkier and it's a bit slimmer, but you have the grippy material, so sort of makes up for it. But when we come on to the extremerate side, So this is basically just a standard DualSense controller with whatever back shell you chose. So I went with the white plastic with the rubber ones. You have textured ones, many different options. But this is the plastic Rise4 Remap. So we have 4 buttons, remappable, and then the rubber grips. Now the good thing here is this is the same more or less the normal DualSense. Nothing to learn here with the added, these rubber grips. So very good feel, especially when I grip this, the way my fingers land. I love this edge here. Like I said, that it's missing on the edge, but it's very good. Also, this part, it's not completely round. There is a bit of a flatness to it. So the fingers here, the way they land is so good, so comfortable. I don't miss the trigger stops because I'm using L1, R1 for aiming and shooting anyway. Yeah, very, very good design. Now, my biggest problem with the extremerate is the sensitivity of these outer pedals. On the plastic one that I have, they're very sensitive. So I did have to basically make a solution. So I cut a couple of precision rings and put them underneath them. And once I did that, I never have any accidental actuation. So when I grip it, it's not like it never press. I only press them when I mean to press them. But like I mentioned, I do have instances. So when I look at my clips, I'm a little bit slower doing things. Of course, it's much faster than pressing the face button and coming off. It's still amazing. But I do feel that there is a very slight delay, especially if I'm running around. I need to jump onto a timed jump, like onto a ledge or something. I can't do that with the back. It's not that the button is very quick. It's just the part of it's me basically. It's not the controller, but I don't find myself to be very accurate when I'm using the insides, like here of the fingers, to actuate something. I'm much more accurate when I'm pressing with the tips. So on the extremerate, I do use the face button, the jump, not the crouch, just the jump a lot. The good thing here is the face button on the normal DualSense. They're very nice, and the resistance is very good. So that's a good thing. On the edge, they do feel a bit, I don't know, like a lot less resistance than it's here. I think that the silicone membrane they're using in here, it's I think it's much smaller in the DualSense Edge, but I never have to use the face button on that anyway. So yeah, so this is very good. Also, the big thing on the extremerate, especially Rise4, is I can do a weapon swap. So I have the right small button. This one is a weapon swap as Y, and so if I do a weapon swap, I don't need to take my thumb off, and I feel like I'm still connected to my aiming, and I can do the weapon swap. That's very good. So the way you actuate, you're using basically middle fingers, the inside part, and then you just move them to do that. I'm not using the left side one because I did the sort of free installation, so I don't have the thumbstick clicks. So I'm not using the left button. It's like I haven't mapped it to anything. So same thing here. I have crouch on the left, jump on the right, and then I have the weapon swap. Comes in very handy. I really, really like using that, and it works. It's just not as fast as the Edge is, and that's just purely down to me and my ability of just thinking, like, when I press with the inside of the fingers, it just doesn't feel that accurate to me. But £40, 4 buttons, especially if you have the controller, compared to £210, it's a no-brainer for me. So I've been very fortunate enough to borrow the Edge. Like, I've had it for more than 3 weeks now, and I've played a lot on it, so I have a lot of experience. But if I be completely honest, I was thinking I'm going to buy an Edge, but then I bought this kit and I installed it. It was a sort of an experimental thing on my part because I thought I'm going to break my controller, because that's a very big negative, I would say, about the extremerate, is the installation. Because when you look at the video, you feel like, oh my God, I can never do this. But yeah, I followed the videos and nothing broke. It works absolutely fine. Everything works on the controller. So I don't think that the installation should be a negative, because if I can do it, who's never opened a controller before, this is the first time ever installing this kit. I basically opened the controller, and it works absolutely perfectly. So now I do have to say, like, it's given me a bit more confidence. I want to put the hair triggers, and I want to make another one, and I'm thinking like I'm going to get like the the soldering iron and stuff to get the thumbstick connections and stuff. So yeah, it's given me a bit of a confidence boost to be able to do this. So that's a very big plus for me. But yeah, in all honesty, I think this is an amazing value. I wish I knew about the metal button versions, and I didn't buy these plastic ones because I'm having to use my solutions to these very sensitive outer pedals. But now that I've been using this for over 3 weeks, I don't feel like I don't have the urge to just go buy Edge. I will buy it when I can afford it. I think it's a good investment. I will buy it then. But I just playing it daily. I really like using the extremerate. The comfort with these rubber grips is very nice. The mold is the same. You don't have to tell your brain that you're holding a different controller. And the DualSense controller, I have to say, I'm very surprised by. It's a very good controller. I don't miss my Xbox controllers that much, especially with this Rise4 kit. And I do honestly believe if you are like me in a situation where you can't afford DualSense Edge, or you just want to save money, you want to spend it on something else, this is a very good alternative. And I think it's a very viable alternative as well. So yeah, that's everything, to be honest. I think it's a very good option. If I left anything out, please do leave me a comment. I do my best to reply to every comment I get. Also, thank you to everyone who subscribed. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe, to be honest, that over 500 people have subscribed to this channel, and it's absolutely mind-blowing for me. Thanks a lot. And I actually want to make a video talking about why Edge might be the best PS5 controller, because I do have a lot of experience with the Razer Wolverine Chroma V2 and the Victrix Gambit, which the two other PS5 controllers are based on, the PDP Pro BFG and the Wolverine V2 Pro. So, you know, keep an eye out for that one. That's something next I'll be working on. But yeah, anything I left on, like I said, do leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in my next videos. Thanks.